See, that's why I like when the Ganesh comes. He keeps the class awake, fighting, arguing, making faces. So you wrote all the three answers?
Only
Okay. Right, that's all. Does water remain cold in this? No, it's just the design. But it's not like a thermos.
you want to check answer.
Once she writes the answers, once they finish writing, we discuss.
And parents will look at the internet, look like a made at home. I made it at home.
Yes. Why did he say that?
And if it's smell of the coffee, feel like of Starbucks.
This is that black coffee. I like the strong, nice black. So, your eyes should be wide awake. Sorry.
I'm not able to understand how to start the third answer.
Third answer, I wrote the points here. The whole moral and the whole answer. So Berman had spent the stormy night painting the replica of the last leaf. So can you read the whole thing?
Three answers. Fine.
Read the first answer.
Sue became worried when became ill because the doctor told her that the medicines are not helping her and she did not have the will to live. Sue tried to revive her interests by trying to make her interest in things around her. She talked to her about clothes and fashion. She also whistled while working, which created a sense of liveliness but did not help us.
Yeah, or she kept also shifted herself. What is the word?
Who also
Brought her
Roar in Johnson's room and started
painting there. Yeah.
Johnson's night of her illness.
Yes. And John C. Why did Sue become worried? Also because John C. would not eat and she would only look outside the window and sleep. Okay, so add that line also. All those things made her worry. So, second one.
Berman was a 60-year-old man who had a dream to create a masterpiece. Yet it came to be true when he painted the last Ivy leaf on the wall that looked so realistic that Janti believed that last leaf had not fallen down. This made her mind to live and also saved Janti's life.
That's right.
What led to Berman's unfortunate death? Berman had spent a stormy night painting the replica of the last leaf. As a result, he fell seriously ill due to pneumonia. In just 2 days, he passed away. But he risked his life to save Johnson's life and did not want her to see the last leaf fall as she would lose her hope to live.
Very good. Good job. So, any doubt? Easy lesson, clear answers. Okay, you managed to, all three of you wrote good answers. So, should we do a house is not a home? Even this is a very interesting story. So, either this or there's another short one, I think. Small lesson is Kathmandu. Should we do a house is not a home? That is shorter.
Not sure. Let's get it first.
Chal, let's do a house is not a home. House is not a home is about this story where this boy he loses his house. One day he's sitting there in the house doing his homework and he sees the smoke coming out and his mother drags him out and they run out because the house has caught fire and the entire house burns down. When the entire house burns down, the mother tries to save whatever she could, but she can save very little. And he's left with nothing but the clothes that he was wearing. And they go to his aunt's house to live. And then how, you know, what happens then? How does he manage to, he has shifted to this new school. In US, you have schools till fifth standard or middle school, and then for middle school there's another school. For high school, it's in another school. Not that the same school does not have high school and middle school and higher, the way we have. Like somebody takes admission in pre-primary and then comes out of the same school after 12. It's not that. So they have different schools and different schools altogether. So this boy has just moved from, I think, fifth to sixth, a new school, and the adjustment is difficult. The children are new. Nobody is his friend. He still misses the teachers of his old school. And to add to it, his house burns down. And he wears those same clothes that he had worn that day. It was a Sunday, and he had gone to Sunday church. He gone to church, and so he was wearing the church clothes. and that's the only clothes he has. So he wears the same clothes to school, and then what happens, how he makes new friends, and how they help. That's the story. Okay? So, house is not a home. Just because it's a house, that doesn't become a home. Uh, just because you have these four walls, a home is what's the difference between house and home?
Home is somewhere you have a lot of memories and love, love being there. And a
Yes.
house is just for the sake of having a roof on your top and
Yeah. Where you have warmth, where you have love, where you feel love and a sense of belonging. So that is a home. And house is just a place where you live. There is no attachment to it. Let's see. A house is not a home. The story reflects the challenges. This is going to know. This is straight on my face. Every time I sit here, I have problem. Still have kept it on 20 for 23. This is the place where I live. Now those that ICSE boys will come and all boys and they all feel hot, hot. This will go on 18. Some of them people would keep it on 18, then some of them will start feeling cold and I'm frozen. Okay. A house is not a home. The story reflects the challenges of being a teenager and the problems of growing up. How does the author overcome his problems? My first year of high school felt awkward. After leaving junior high at the head of my class, with all the seniority the upper grade levels could afford me, it felt strange starting over as a freshman. The school was twice as big as my old school, and to make matters worse, my close friends were sent to a different high school. I felt very isolated. So he has just entered high school. High school there is, I think, ninth standard maybe. And his friends had gone to a different school. He was here. He had an eighth standard. Eighth standard means the senior most grade in his previous school. So he had enjoyed the, seniority. He was at the top of his class, or he loved and admired by everyone. He missed all that when he came to this new school. It was big, there was nobody, none of his friends had come here, felt very, very lonely and isolated. I missed my old teachers so much that I would go back and visit them. They would encourage me to get involved in school activities so that I could meet new people. They told me that in time I would adjust and probably end up loving my new school more than I had my old one. They made me promise that when that happened, I would still come by and visit them from time to time. I understood the psychology in what they were saying, but I took some comfort in nonetheless. One Sunday afternoon, not long after I had started high school, I was sitting at home at our dining room table doing homework. It was a cold, windy fall day, and we had a fire going in our fireplace. As usual, my red tabby cat was lying on the top of my papers, purring loudly and occasionally swatting at my pen for entertainment's sake. She was never far from me. I had rescued her when she was a kitten, and somehow she knew that I was the one responsible for giving her the good life. My mother kept stoking the fire to keep the house nice and warm. Suddenly, I smelled something strange, and then I noticed it. Smoke pouring in through the seams of the ceiling. The smoke began to fill the room so quickly that we could barely see. Groping our way to the front door, we all ran out into the front yard. By the time we made our way outside, the whole roof was engulfed in flames and it was spreading quickly. I ran to the neighbors to call the fire department while I watched my mother run back into the house.
My mother then ran out of the house carrying a small metal box full of important documents. She dropped the case on the lawn and in the crazed stage ran back into the house. I knew what she was after. My father had died when I was young. I was certain that she was not going to let his picture and letters go up in flames. They were the only things that she had to remember him by. Still, I screamed at her, Mom, no. I was about to run after her.
Mom, no! She screamed.
I was about to run after her when I felt a large hand hold me back. It was the fireman. Fireman, had not even noticed that the
I
street
hadn't even.
noticed that the street had already filled with the fire trucks. I was trying to free myself from his gas, yelling, "You do not understand. My mother is
My mother's in there.
he held on to me while other firefighters ran into the house. He knew that I wasn't acting very logically.
I was acting very logically.
And
I
that
wasn't acting.
wasn't acting very logically. And that if he were to let go, I would run. He was right. It's all right. They'll get her, he said. He wrapped a blanket around me and sat me down in a car. Soon after, a fireman emerged from our house with my mom in tow. He quickly took her over the truck and put an oxygen mask on her. I ran over and hugged her. All those times I ever argued with her and hated her vanished at the
Thought
thought
of
of
losing
losing
her.
her.
Yeah, leave.
She's going to be okay, said the fireman. She just immediately released me, and then he ran back to fight the fire while my mother and I sat there dazed. I remember watching my house burn down and thinking that there was nothing I could do about it. 5 hours later, the fire was finally out. My house was almost completely burned
Down.
down. But then it struck me I hadn't seen my cat. Where was my cat? Much to my horror, I realized that she was nowhere to be found. Then all at once it hit me the new school, the fire, my cat. I broke down in tears and cried and cried. I was suffering loss, big time. The fireman wouldn't let us go back into the house that night. It was still too dangerous, dead or alive. I couldn't imagine leaving without knowing about my cat. Regardless, I had to go. We piled into the car with just the clothes on our backs and few of those fireman's blankets and made our way to my grandparents' house to spend the night. The next day, Monday, I went to school when the fire broke out. I was still wearing the dress I had worn to church that morning, but I had no shoes. I had kicked them off when I was doing my homework. They became yet another casualty of the fire. So I had to borrow some tennis shoes from my aunt. Why couldn't I just stay home from school? My mother wouldn't hear of it, but I was totally embarrassed by everything. The clothes I was wearing, looking weird, I had no books or homework, and my backpack was gone. I had my life in the backpack. The more I tried to pretend, the worse it got. Was I destined, des-
Was I destined to be an
was I
outcast?
destined to be an outcast and a geek all my life? That's what it felt like. I didn't want to grow up, change, or have to handle life if it was going to be this way. I just wanted to curl up and die. I walked around the school like a zombie. Everything felt surreal, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen. All the security I had known from my old school, my friends, my house, and my cat
Had all been
all
ripped
been
away.
ripped away.
Yeah. Understood so far, there's nothing much to explain.
When I walked through what used to be my house after school that day, I was shocked to see how much damage there was. Whatever had been burned was destroyed by the water and chemicals they had used to put out the fire. The only material thing not destroyed were the photo albums, documents, and some other personal items that my mother had managed to
Ironically,
heroically rescue. But my cat was gone and my heart ached for her. There was no time to grieve. My mother rushed me out of the house. We would have to find a place to live, and I would have to go buy some clothes for school. We had to borrow money from my grandparents because there was
Grandparents.
grandparents because there were no credit cards, cash, or even identification to be able to withdraw money from the bank. Everything had gone up in smoke. That week, the rubble that used to be our house was being cleared off the lot. Even though we had rented an apartment nearby, I would go over to watch them clear away debris, hoping that my cat was somewhere to be found. She was gone. I kept thinking about her as that vulnerable little kitten. In the early morning, when I would disturb her and get out of bed, she would tag along with me, climb up my rope, and crawl into my pocket to fall asleep. I was missing her terribly. It always seems that that bad news spreads quickly, and in my case, it was no different. Everyone in high school, including the teachers, were aware of my plight. I was embarrassed as if somehow I were responsible. What a way to start off at a new school. This is not the kind of attention I was looking for. The next day at school, people were acting even more strange than usual. I was getting ready for gym class at my locker. People were miling around me, asking me to hurry up. I thought it was strange, but in the light of the past few weeks, nothing would surprise me. It almost seemed that they were trying to shove me into the gym, and then I saw why. There was a big table set up with all kinds of stuff on it, just for me. They had taken up a collection and brought me school supplies, notebooks, all kinds of different clothes, jeans, top, sweatsuits. It looked like
It was
Christmas.
like Christmas.
It was like Christmas. I was overcome by emotion. People who had never spoken to me before were coming up to me to introduce themselves. I got all kinds of invitations to their houses. The genuine outpouring of concern really touched me. In that instant, I finally breathed a sigh of relief and thought for the first time that things were going to be okay. I made friends that night. A
A
month,
month later,
a month,
yeah, continue. No, I thought you are tired. Are you tired of reading? Then read.
a month later, I was at my house watching them rebuild it. But this time it was different. I wasn't alone. I was with two of my new friends from school. It took a fire for me to stop focusing on my feelings of insecurity and open up to all the wonderful people around me. Now I was sitting there watching my house being rebuilt, and I realized my life was doing the same thing. While we sat there on the curb planning my new bedroom, I heard someone walk up to me from behind and say, "Does this belong to you?" And I turned around to see who it was. I couldn't believe my eyes. A woman standing there holding my cat. I leapt and grabbed her out of the woman's arms. I held her close to me and cried into that beautiful orange fur. She purred happily. My friends were hugging me, hugging the cat, and jumping around. Apparently, my cat had been so freaked out by the fire that she ran over a mile away. The caller had our phone number on it, but our phones had been destroyed and disconnected. This wonderful woman took her in and worked hard to find out whose cat it was. Somehow, she knew this cat was loved and sorely missed. As I sat there, my friends and my cat curled up in my lap, all the overwhelming feelings of loss and tragedy seemed to diminish. I felt gratitude for my life, my new friends, the kindness of a stranger, and the loud purr of my beloved cat. My cat was back, and so was I.
Zangodiaso. So that is a house is not a home. Why in this case, house is not a home?
Because his house at that time had become a new apartment and his grandparents' house. But his memories, his belongings and everything were in the old house. That is what.
And to become a home, you need loved ones. So here he had a house, but then he was going through a rough patch. That warm house that you're talking about. See, he was not getting along in school. He was feeling left out in school, and he was not in a happy state. His house burned down. He was living in a rental house. He was getting his house redone, but now he had friends. His cat was back. He had a sense of belonging to the new school, and therefore suddenly it looked as if life is good. So the minute you see you are loved, you have your loved ones, you have people with whom you enjoy life, the place becomes a home. Be it school, be it house. Without them, it's just a place to be with, be in. Okay. So he had a house before, but it took a fire to make new friends, to feel that he belongs to this new place, to become a home. There are questions here. What does the author notice on one Sunday afternoon? What does he notice one Sunday afternoon?
On Sunday afternoon, not after he
Sit
had
here
a
so you can
fire.
read.
He had a fire going in his fireplace, but
What does he notice?
he noticed that smoke was pouring into the seams of the
Yes,
ceiling.
one Sunday afternoon when he was
Doing his
sitting
homework.
and doing his homework, he noticed that the smoke was.
Through the seams of the ceiling.
He noticed smoke through the seams of the pouring in through the seams of the ceiling,
The smoke began to fill the room quickly.
and the smoke filled the room very quickly. What is his mother's reaction?
His mother ran out of the house.
First, he and his mother ran out of the house. Yes, sir.
And then his mother ran back into the house, carrying a small metal box full of important documents.
No, she ran into the house and came back carrying
a metal box.
metal box. Came back carrying a metal box. And after some time, she ran again. Um, again
To get the pictures and letters
of the dead
father.
husband of father. What does she do? Okay. Why does he break down in tears after the fire?
Because his cat. Um, because he had lost everything that he had owned and the things which he had loved, especially his cat.
As the house burns down, with house goes all his belongings and the security of the house. He also realizes that he does not have many friends or acceptance in school. He has also missed. He also could not find his beloved cat, and a sense of loss overwhelms him, and he starts crying. Okay. Why is the author deeply embarrassed the next day in school? Why was he deeply embarrassed the next day in school?
Because he had the clothes on from yesterday, which he had
The previous day, not yesterday.
the previous day when he had gone to the church, which looked weird, and he didn't have proper shoes to wear.
Okay. What more will you say? How will you
Because
word
he
it?
had no homework books or backpack.
So, why does the deeply embarrassed the next day in school? It was the author's house had gone down. As a result, he had no clothes, no books left with him. He had to wear the clothes he was wearing the previous day. That is the clothes to the church that he had the previous day. He did not have proper shoes. As a result, he had borrowed. He was wearing the borrowed shoes, borrowed tennis shoes from his aunt. He did not have a backpack, no books, no homework, and therefore he felt deeply embarrassed the next day. Which word show his fear and insecurity? Which word show his fear and insecurity? He felt that he will always remain an outcast. And what else? He says no. Uh, the more he tried to fit in, the worse it got. He was as well. No, which words show his insecurity? So he felt that he was destined to be an outcast and geek. Okay, yes, geek also. So this shows his insecurity and fear. The cat and the author are very fond of each other. How has this been shown in the story? Where was the cat after the fire? Who brings it back and how? The cat and the author were very fond of each other, and this is reflected in the story as the author shows his grief um, by missing her a lot and feeling empty in a way. The grief was a constant companion to the author. She sit on her when he would study. She would sit on the papers and purr there and running around and occasionally squatting and squat at the pen occasionally. They would sleep in her. She would also sleep in his bed. The next day, in the morning, when he would wake her up, she would follow him around everywhere. Um, and this shows that author and the cat were, plus the author had rescued her and when it was a little kitten. So tells us that they were fond of each other. And was the cat after the fire? The cat ran a mile away. So as the cat had kicked out, it had run a mile away. Yes. And the freaked out the cat freaked out so much due to fire that it ran a mile away. She was who brings it back and how? She was rescued by a woman. Uh, she tried to. Her caller had a phone number on it, but the phone had been destroyed and disconnected. The woman worked hard to find whose cat it was, and somehow she found out. Yeah, and managed to bring the cat back to the author. What actions of the schoolmates changed the author's understanding of life and people and comfort him emotionally? During his gym class, people were asking him to hurry up, which he thought was weird. But what during the PE class, he was shoved in the what is the gym? All of them had. Uh, that's when he realized that his classmates had organized a big table set up with all kinds of stuff on it. Yeah. Such as school supplies, notebooks, all kinds of clothes, which felt like Christmas. And what else? Everybody came and spoke to him, invited him home. He made new friends that day. Um, as a result, now his friends accompanied him everywhere. He felt his loneliness vanished. He was no longer lonely. Um, and
How does learning establishing how does
Yeah, how to start participating in life. What more will you say? What did he do then?
he was watching his how he built his two new friends from school.
What will you say?
He made friends
And
and started opening up to all the wonderful people around him.
yes, then any interesting question? What was the name of the boy? So it's
Zan.
Zan. We'll call him Zan because the author's name is Zan. Let's write two answers. What is he shouting? Interesting now.
Is he saying apple?
Huh?
Apple.
I'm trying to understand what he's telling. I'm able to understand.
Not really bad. That's what you want.
I don't purpose firecrackers. I don't burn firecrackers. When I was a child, I did, but no, I never let my daughter do it. Yeah, even she did. How old is she? 20. Do you burn crackers? Yeah, enjoy burning crackers. What did you say?
No.
Yes, no, what?
No, no.
How about you?
I do.
You like it?
But only one day. The one in the
On the main day of Diwali. You want to switch on the AC? No. Note the first one. wrote the first answer. Read the first answer.
The cat and the author are very fond of each other. This has been reflected in the story, as when he gave homework, the cat would sit on top of his paper, purring loudly, occasionally swatting his pen. The grief which the author had when he thought he had lost the little ribbon he rescued, and which followed him almost everywhere. The cat was brought back to the author by a woman who worked hard to find the owner of the cat.
Okay, but then write that the cat had got so scared of the fire that she ran a mile away, and there was a number on her column, but because the phones had been disconnected, yes, the woman who found the cat could not find. So she took extra efforts to find the owner and brought the cat back. Will you be able to write the last answer? Next answer? Write it at home then. You want the second answer? We'll discuss the second answer next week. And hopefully your friends come. Even if they don't come, we'll do the poem because I kept postponing it twice. Happy holidays. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your Diwali. Happy Diwali. Yeah, what did you ask? How?
Half, we divide the.
She stays in West, no?
No, she stays here only.
Okay.
Here.
Here only. I thought you stay somewhere near APJ.
No.
No. Oh, you cross somewhere else. Yeah.
She lives in Talau. I live in separate. There's one big Talau.
New one.
Oh.
I cross and go.
Everywhere.
She's the one who crosses.
You cross and go that side.
Yeah.
You stay that side.
I live in East.
East. You live in East.
Yeah.
Talau, which Talau? Yeah.
Sector 18.
18.
Shiv Mandir.
Yes, yes.
Daily
yes.
needs.
Daily needs, I know. I know daily needs. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, there. I've read this, I've heard the Shiv Mandir and Talab. I've not yet seen that place. The Shiv Mandir is quite popular, no?
Yeah.
Very beautiful, yeah. I should.